force in our life. This ain't happening by no luck. We don't, as Israelites, we don't believe in no luck. Ain't nothing luck. Yahweh is in control of it. It just don't happen by any chance. It happens because Yahweh is in control of it. But let us continue to peel off this pertinent information that belongs to us. And I reiterate and strongly reiterate that this information belongs to us, you know, so that we might come back into who we are. It's very important. That's right. I'm telling you that you are a royal people, a great people. You understand? And your greatness is in the commandments of Yahweh. Now, if you keep the commandments of Yahweh, and I have to continuously, with great rhetoric, continue to enforce that thought of how great we are. Psalms 130, verse 5, I wait for Yahweh. My soul does wait, and in his word do I hope. See, we must hope in the word of Yahweh, see, because that's our only thing that we can give our kids. It said, who shall arise that they might set their hope? Set their hope in what? The word of Yahweh. You know, who shall arise to declare it to their children? Because as the kids are moving through America, they're losing hope. They're losing it. They don't find no jobs. Their degrees all of a sudden that they paid all this money for, and they will lose the foresight. But Yahweh said, teach them this and let them set their hope in me and their aspirations. And it says, the expectations of the poor shall not always be forgotten. And see, Yahweh will give us the comforting spirit, and the spirit will give us to where though it's burning up around us, we will behold it with our eyes, but we will have, being that Yahweh has given us a divine spirit, though we see it with our eyes, it shall not come nigh us. See, in our mind and consciousness and in our well-being and our stability, we'll see it. But see, it won't shake us because we're going to be in the midst of it. And we'll know this is the work of Yah. And Yahweh don't make no mistakes. See, you know, so like people say, well, Israel ain't coming back. Are you saying Yahweh reared up a people and he made a mistake? Yahweh ain't make no mistake. God can't make no mistake. When he reared up Jacob, he said, I knew you was a transgressor from the womb. Yahweh wanted that type of personality because he had a greater work. He didn't have, as he told the prophet, it's a small thing if I just save Israel. But I've given you to be a light to the ends of the earth, to the Gentile. So Yahweh's work is broad. It's not narrow. And see, we should be thankful to know that we have such a gracious and wonderful God. Because if we wasn't Israel, we would know that it'd still be a chance for us. You have to understand Yahweh is giving you things that he hasn't given nobody else. And I will discuss that in time. It says, Isaiah chapter 40, verse 8, the grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the word of Yahweh shall stand, what? Forever. You hear what I'm saying? Forever. See, the people will be moved off the planet. They'll have wars. It says the world will come to an end. World means people. But the earth, go in and read it. The earth shall abide forever. That's the physical mass under your feet. So when people tell you about the world, they're right. Because world, this means people. You should look it up in the dictionary. You know, and how they try and look up the word world and earth. You understand? Because the earth is the mass beneath our feet. And the Bible tells you the earth shall abide forever. So we know that the word is forever. Forever. Okay? So let us see that Yahweh has a plan for us. And he has a divine plan. But let us go to Joel and read, because it's always good to constantly substantiate the facts, because then when you go in it, you'll understand that Yahweh is no play toy. You can't get personal with him. You understand? He is God and ruler. And as God and ruler, we should want to know, how can we approach our God who has been so kind, so generous to us? He's a generous God. We should love him with all our mind, with all our body, with all our might. And when the time comes and Passover's coming, you understand, we should run to observe it, because it ain't nothing else you got. What do you have? Tell me what is yours that's more superior than the word of Yahweh. And Yahweh has given you something to do. He's told you what to do. And like I've been trying to explain, it is the word that will help us. It is the word that will sustain us. It says, Yahweh is the hope of Israel, of his people. So we know who the people are. We know that the children of Israel, and he's telling us, you know, we have to take these things seriously, or else we will perish. There's no doubt, and nobody's going to cry for us. They ain't crying for us now, are they? So don't look for, when you perish, they're not going to sit there and cry, because the world has been taught about you, and they have been told that you are a people of no substance by which you should have had this prosperity and that prosperity in America, not knowing that that wasn't our calling in America. Our calling in America was to come to be punished because we broke the commandments of Yahweh. That was our punishment here. That's right. Not to come into America and take rulership from our brother Esau. No. And matter of fact, you don't want to rule America. If you became ruler, you have to give the land back to the American Indians, because this is stolen, this property poured on these borders. If you could see the spirits that's hollering for revenge, there's no way that you would perpetuate the crime of mass murder that has taken place to the building of each of the chambers. And woe unto him that builds his chambers by blood. And this country's been built by blood. And you don't want nothing to do with it. We're the only people that can say. They brought us here. We came here as captives. Everybody else was an immigrant. They were migrants. They came, and you hear people say, well, you can go back. You can't go back to what is yours, because everybody else occupies it. And what did Yahweh tell us? He said, wait, I'm going to come. I'm going to get you, because he's going to disperse everybody that's in our land that's taking advantage of us. He's going to judge everybody. See, we are blessing and we are cursed. And believe me, ain't too many people blessing and we are cursed. And believe me, ain't too many people love us here. They are not taught to love us. But see, if they understand who we are, they would love us. If they wasn't going to help us, they darn sure wouldn't hinder us. They'd leave us alone. See, because see, if they left us alone, we get our own. But see, when you have to go through certain people for certain things, and when the manhood of other people is based on economics, and they see that you're rising, and they see that people will respect you because you have a car, a house, and for people to respect you because you have these things, it shows the little understanding they have of the value of really life. How many people respect a man because of his godliness? That he say, you know, that man's a godly man. How many people you ever met in your life that will give this man the praise because he knows he's a godly man? But he'll give him a praise for having drugs and selling it and looking dapper Dan in the community when getting out of a very expensive car. Oh, he's the hero of the community. But the guy that's really the hero is the guy that has the spirit of Yahweh with him. And he's moving through the earth. But see, it takes some time for you to move into a person's life to see that. See, you have to look a lot deeper because you might not understand how it looks because you haven't been used to looking for anybody with those credentials. You only say, well, if he has a car and he has a suit on, he must be a nice person. That is no reason to look at a person's outer and judge him, because some of the worst people have homes, cars, money, suits, and they are an abomination to life itself. So let us learn to judge. Let's judge things by the law. Those that are keeping the law, those that are making the effort to keep the law, those that are struggling, and the brothers and sisters come together and they help each other and encourage each other to keep the commandments. So in Joel, coming back to that thought, verse 3, verse 16, it says, Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem. And the heavens and the earth shall shake, but Yahweh will be what? The hope of his people and the strength of the sons of Israel. So praise Yahweh. See, when these things start taking place, those of us that are in the law, doing the law, why worry? You know, it's not necessary to worry. Let's go to Psalm 131. And I want to go into some information that Paul taught, because we know Paul was a Benjamite, and he dropped some heavy information on us. But let's go to Psalms 131, verse 3. It says, let Israel hope in Yahweh, for henceforth and forever. So we know what we must do. Let's do it and go on about our business and forget about what the world sees and how the world judges, because the world can't make no accurate assessment of us because they're looking on the outer. If they look on the inner, they'll see the royalty and the expectations that we have in our lives must be to keep the commandments of Yahweh. And if they could see that to lift us up is to lift themselves up. But see, since they can't see it, it's irrelevant. We know how to lift ourselves up. And how should we lift ourselves up? Through the word of the eternal God. Only by his word will we have the understanding to overcome this. So let's go and because Paul says some real beautiful things, because when we fell, it was a stirring that we would never rise again. And Paul had to tell the Romans through his epistle that was wrong. Because reading the history, we can see that Paul was very enlightened, because he was, as he states in his own, that he was an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin. So Paul knew certain things that we should become abreast of, and that Paul was trying to straighten out the minds of everyone to the truth. Now we know that it's possible that the books that was tampered with, but I'll tell you this. It wasn't going to be too much not done to cover. It was going to be a lot done to cover the truth. But what was the truth? But it was many things that was altered. But we have to have a discerning spirit, and I believe that by the grace of Yahweh has blessed me with a discerning spirit of learning how to discern certain things to be given. Now, Paul talked of an incident among the Romans. And he says in Romans chapter 11, verse 25, "For I would not, brethren, that you should be ignorant of this mystery." See, it was a mystery to them because they look, as I was saying, when you see only the physical thing and you don't see the spiritual thing, and when they saw us fall as a people, it was a mystery, and this mystery was, as Paul said, lest you should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentile be come in. So he was saying that this is only a dispensation of time. And he was trying, because they were happy that we fell. And all of those that had participated in our demise as a great people. But we have to understand, they would have never been able to touch us if we had kept the commandments of Yahweh. But because they were able to get too close because of our disobedience. So Paul was telling them, and you should be glad to know that you're going to rise. Now, how are you going to rise? See, and you have to know, because a lot of the brothers saying that we have to get guns and swords. You should want to know, how is Yahweh and how are we going to rise as a people? And this is the interest that should be upon us, so we might know and be set free and just wait, because that's what it told us to do, was wait. And let us go to, because this is some beautiful stuff. It's a beautiful thing to stand up and be able to expound on the words of Yahweh. Let's go to Hosea chapter 1. And Hosea definitely drops a great mystery in our lap so that we might be mentally stable. It says, "But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, and will save them by Yahweh their God, and will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horse, nor by horsemen." So, Yahweh says, but I will have mercy upon the house of Judah. Why? Because we're in the neck of our enemy. And if Yahweh don't have mercy on us, they're not. And he says to you, he says, and will save them by Yahweh their God. So Yahweh's going to save us. You know what I'm saying? You got to know this. See, this is beautiful. You got to know it. You got to know it. See, and Zechariah also reinforces that thought. He reinforces it because, see, we have to know what we're doing, because once you know what you're doing, you know how to relax in it. And then when you relax in it, people wonder, well, they should be upset. We getting ready to kill them all. No. They got it all ready. They got it backward. They getting ready to be slaughtered. They are getting ready to be slaughtered, not us. See, they got it backward. See, they need to reverse that. See, where it says in Zechariah chapter 4, verse 6, it says, "Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of Yahweh unto Zerubbabel, saying, Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, said Yahweh of hosts." See, so it is the Spirit. It's the Spirit. Because even in 2 Corinthians, Paul was dropping a master secret. A master secret. And he wanted the people, because he was an Israelite, and being an Israelite, he was dropping these secrets to those that could really perceive. And it has come down that we need to understand what Paul was talking about. And Paul says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh." This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Elohim to the pulling down of strongholds." See? Casting down imaginations. And what They have imagined a wicked thing against us, and every high thing that exalts against itself against the knowledge. Didn't we fall because of the knowledge? That's right. Of Allahayamah, and bring it into captivity, every thought to obedience of the anointed, which Christ means. It means anointed. See, and we are the anointed of Yahweh. And see, we are going to bring down this great imagination. Because you got to remember the translation from, you got Hebrew, Greek being translated into English. You got two different languages. And a lot of things have been altered due to, such as there was no J. So they put a J there. We had no synagogues, we had temples. But to them, they had synagogues. So that offset, discerning, learning that there is a misrepresentation of the truth. But we must take our time and sift through and get the most pertinent part that is mixed in with the lie. But don't worry about it, because if the Spirit is with us, the Spirit will guide us. So it says our warfare is not carnal, but mighty through the Spirit. See, this is what we have to understand. Yahweh told you that it's going to be done through the Spirit. See, now, in Ephesians, like I said, Paul had to come to some real grips to some things, and he wanted to put so that the people would not waste their time. Because many of us waste our time at things, but Paul wanted to make sure that those that had an eye to understand, they would perceive. So he says in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." See, so this is why Paul says that your warfare is not carnal, physical. You cannot deal with this on a physical level. The only thing that can bind the physical and the spiritual is the law. Because all things are governed under the law. The Ruach, an evil Ruach, cannot rest upon a man that is keeping the commandments of Yahweh. See, because if you're keeping the commandments of Yahweh, that spirit can't do nothing to you. That's why it said, the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, except the righteous put their hands to what? Iniquity. So these, and I just got finished telling you, it's about the words of Yahweh. Don't worry about him. If he came on television and tell you he's going to drop the bomb to destroy the whole earth, did the word of Yahweh tell you he's going to destroy the whole earth? He might drop the bomb, but he ain't going to destroy the whole earth. Because it said the earth shall abide forever. Go back and read. We're living on the word of Yahweh. Don't worry about this wicked man. He hates himself. Because anybody that will destroy his own house that he got to live, and after he burn it down, he got to live in the wilderness, is a fool. This is a non-compassionate, no compassion, no love. All he sees is rulership. A reckless rulership means a reckless end. That's right. See, all you got to do, give him time. He not only has he messed it up for everybody, it is messed up on this planet. It's so bad that Yahweh has sent, and I want to read because I know a lot of the brothers are talking about the mothership and flying saucers. Look, go and read and stop getting hung up in what these people are about. We're not about no flying saucers. We know according to what Yahweh has said to us, we got to leave that stuff alone. And we got to search out the word. Yahweh knows what's in our heart. But if you get involved with this, then you're a fool. And see, one thing about this Bible, it deals with descriptions. And in Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1 to 3, it says, "And I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll." Now, I don't think a roll has changed too much during the aeons and aeons of time. A roll is a roll. And we do know one thing about a roll is round. So we've seen pictures of UFO, unidentified flying objects, and we know they are of a circular thing. And he said unto me, "What seest thou?" And I answered, "I see a flying roll, and the length thereof is 20 cubes, and the breadth thereof 10 cubes. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, for everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it." So it's a curse. Leave them flying saucers alone and stop letting somebody telling you it has entered to plague those in which it has been sent to plague. We will see it. It told us we will be in the midst of a hard group of people. But once we know what is happening through the word of Yahweh, it's not for us to entangle ourselves in the vomit of these people. What they have done, they've done it to themselves. They wouldn't worry about you. Why worry about them? What you should worry about is the empowerment of yourself back into righteousness, because you cannot help these people with anything good. You know, it's like their nature is to do the wrong they're doing. That's why they excel in it and do well in it. You understand? You can't do. You have to realize that this house has been built on mass murder. And it's a curse. Whenever you shed innocent blood and think that you can write it off and that there will not be any repercussions, then your ancestors have not told you the truth. Look at all the nations that have ruled. Didn't they all fall? And none of them believed that they would. None of them. They believed that they would be forever. But if they had read the book, they'll find out it's impossible. Yahweh is a gracious and Yahweh is a wonderful God. And he's a fear God. And no one can tell, even the devil will praise him because he has given him a portion. And I'm saying to you, ain't no one that you will ever find more fear in distributing the wealth than Yahweh. Yahweh is a gracious and wonderful God. And all you got to do is study, and you'll see there's no one that I've found more fear than him. And no matter what you've done, you can always go and you can ask for repentance and pardons. And if you're sincere and you hold to it, he will accept it. And that's fear. That's one thing I've learned about life. Everybody just wants somebody to be fair with them. That's right. Everybody looks for somebody to be fair. Even the guy that's going to do you wrong, he has to get you to be fair with him so he can squeeze in to do that wrong. So I'm saying to you is that to pass this information is a great and wonderful thing. And I want to thank everybody, and I pray that you continue in the Word and bless yourself in the eternal God, because Yahweh is God and there's none other than him. So I offer up this prayer, and as I've told you so often, it is my desire to lead and to encourage the brothers and sisters to keep the commandments forever. So I offer up this prayer. May Yahweh bless us and keep us. May the Spirit of our God, Yahweh, be ever with us. May we not deviate to the left or to the right, but may we remember Yahweh. May we call upon his name. May we love him with all our mind, with all our body, with all our might. This I ask Yahweh in your holy and divine and perfect and excellent name, your great and wonderful name, Yahweh. May you bless all of Israel and bless those that are making an effort and strengthen us. As I've said so often, I'm the navigator, and my job as a navigator is to tell you where I get my information. And the information I get is out of the Torah, the writings, the books, the history that is called the Bible. But it is a collection of many other books. So go in it, read it, and may Yahweh bless you. Shalom.